Hey guys, tonight we're stepping into the dim glow of flickering candles and the faint scent of rosewater, where the rustle of velvet skirts and the low hum of lute music signal that something is brewing in the Renaissance air. You're in your chamber, gazing into a polished brass mirror, dabbing at your cheeks with a hint of crushed beetle powder for that perfect flush. The air is thick with possibility, and you probably won't survive this. This story isn't just about the past. It might be a mirror of something you've quietly carried too. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, let me know in the comments, where in the world are you listening from? And what time is it there? Midnight in Paris? Dawn in Florence? I love hearing from you. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You smooth out the folds of your damask gown, deep red, lined with silk, the perfect shade for tonight's gathering. Your fingers tremble slightly as you tie a velvet ribbon around your waist, hoping it's just snug enough to be charming, but not so tight that it reveals your nervousness. In the Renaissance, first dates weren't about dinner and a movie. They were intricate social rituals, each moment laced with hidden meaning and a dash of danger. Historians still argue whether love or social ambition fueled most of these encounters. But as you adjust your hairnet, each pearl glinting like a star in the candlelight, you realize that for you, tonight is about the thrill. The breathless anticipation that comes with stepping into a world of carefully choreographed glances and whispered promises. Your escort waits outside, a cousin or a trusted friend, tasked with making sure you arrive at the gathering with every hair in place. A first date wasn't something to take lightly. It was a performance, an introduction not just to one person, but to their entire world. The first impression had to be perfect, down to the placement of your lace cuffs and the subtle scent of rose oil behind your ears. As you step out into the night, the air is cool and heavy with the perfume of blooming jasmine. The streets are slick with the mist of early evening, and lanterns cast long, wobbly shadows across the cobblestones. Your shoes click softly, each step echoing like a heartbeat in the dark. You keep your chin high, your gaze just shy of brazen. This is a delicate dance, and you're already in motion. When you arrive at the gathering, a feast, a masquerade, or perhaps a quiet salon, the room is a swirl of colors and laughter. Women in brocade gowns flick open their fans like shields, eyes bright with secrets. Men in stiff doublets and pointed shoes stand in small knots, the flash of a jeweled dagger at one hip, the glint of a gold chain at the throat. You slip into this world, your pulse quickening as you scan the room for that one face, the reason you're here. And there he is, or she, depending on your fancy tonight. A smile exchanged across the room, subtle but electric. A moment's pause as you take in the curve of their mouth, the way their hands move when they speak. You catch your breath, just for a moment, before the conversation begins. Your first words are gentle, almost practiced. "My lord," you murmur. Or perhaps, "My lady," your voice soft and low. The words themselves are simple, but the tone, that's where the magic is. A slight tilt of the head, the ghost of a smile, the soft brush of fingers against a sleeve. In the Renaissance, dating was a performance, but it was also an art form. A mainstream historical fact here. Many Renaissance gatherings, particularly in Italy, were lavish affairs that combined dining, dancing, and conversation as part of the courtship ritual. You wouldn't just meet someone at a tavern. Your entire community was often there, watching, judging, and whispering. But there was a quirky twist, too. Did you know that Renaissance women sometimes kept tiny glass bottles of scented oils in their sleeves, ready to dab a tempting scent behind the ear during a dance? That's one way to make sure you're remembered long after the music ends. As you lean in for your first conversation, you feel the weight of expectation pressing down. This isn't just idle chatter. It's your chance to prove yourself witty, clever, and just mysterious enough to be captivating. You talk about poetry, about the latest tapestries from Flanders, about the rumors of a new painting by that upstart Da Vinci. You keep your voice low, your laughter easy. Every word is carefully chosen, every glance deliberate. And yet, beneath the practiced elegance, your heart flutters. You wonder if they feel it too. The quickening pulse, the soft heat that rises in your cheeks. It's a small rebellion against the rigid rules of your world, a spark of something that might be real, even here. Outside, the night is slipping deeper into darkness. The moon hangs low, and the stars are bright pinpricks in the velvet sky. You take a deep breath, the scent of roasted meats and perfumed air swirling around you. You're here, and you're ready. Whatever the night holds, you'll meet it head on, laced into your gown, every hair in place, every nerve alive with the possibility of what's to come. You take a careful sip of spiced wine, the warmth of cinnamon and cloves spreading across your tongue as your eyes meet those of your companion across the table. In the Renaissance, words were the first step in the dance of courtship, a game of wits played in candlelight, with laughter as the currency and meaning shimmering just beneath the surface. The art of conversation wasn't just polite chit-chat. It was a performance worthy of a stage, each phrase a chance to showcase your cleverness and your charm. You lean in, fingers brushing the carved edge of the table, your voice pitched just so, a soft, musical lilt that invites them in. Did you hear the latest poem from Florence? You ask, a faint smile playing at the corners of your lips. They lean closer, intrigued by your question and the glint in your eyes. In the Renaissance, poetry was as essential to romance as sweetmeats and serenades. A witty quip, a well-turned phrase, these were the weapons of the heart. Historians still argue whether these conversations were purely for amusement or a subtle form of political maneuvering. After all, every word you speak tonight carries weight, not just with your date, but with the chaperones and friends whose eyes linger at the edges of the candlelit room. You take in their response, a clever turn of phrase, a teasing question that sets your mind racing. The candlelight flickers in their eyes, and you catch a glimpse of the person beneath the finery, the real self, not just the well-rehearsed mask. And that's what you're hunting for tonight. The spark of something genuine in the carefully cultivated garden of Renaissance etiquette. In this hushed world of whispered jokes and double meanings, you find yourself playing a part and yet feeling more yourself than you have in weeks. The quirk of an eyebrow, the laughter that slips from your lips without thinking, it's intoxicating. Like a well-played lute melody, conversation here has a rhythm, a harmony that you're learning to follow. But there's a darker side to all this elegance, a quirky detail. Some Renaissance hosts employed professional jesters, their sole job to keep the laughter flowing and distract from awkward silences. Imagine having someone paid to poke fun at your stumbles. No pressure, right? The jesters hover at the edge of the room, their bright colors a swirl of mirth and mischief. You watch them out of the corner of your eye as you banter with your date, grateful that your jokes land true tonight. A slip of the tongue in this world isn't just embarrassing. It's a mark that lingers in the memory of every person who heard it. The conversation dips into philosophy, a common subject among the well-read. Do you think beauty is a gift of the divine or the result of human craft? They ask, swirling their cup thoughtfully. You feel the question like a challenge, like an invitation to reveal something deeper. You pause, let the words settle in the air between you, and then offer your answer with a slow, deliberate smile. It's both, you say, your voice soft and certain. Beauty is a mystery we chase in art, in love, but it's also a gift we're given, fleeting and fragile. Your companion nods, a spark of agreement in their eyes, and you feel the connection tighten, like a thread tying you together across the table. Around you, the room hums with conversation and music, the flicker of lute strings, the rustle of silk skirts, the soft clink of silver goblets. Every detail is designed to heighten the senses, to weave you deeper into this night of possibility. But you're not here for the spectacle. You're here for the words, the laughter, the chance to be seen and understood. You lean back in your chair, your posture relaxed, but your heart racing. You've navigated the first steps of this delicate dance. Now, you're ready to see where it leads. Will tonight be the start of something real, or just another chapter in the endless game of courtly love? No matter. For tonight, you're in the moment, alive to every breath and every word. The world beyond the flickering candles, your family's expectations, the weight of your name, the endless rules of your society, it all fades away for a little while. Here, in this warm, laughing circle of light, you're free. The night stretches on, and you find yourself leaning in closer, your hand brushing theirs as you speak. The conversation has moved beyond practiced lines now, into something rawer, something that feels like truth. You laugh at a silly story about a cat in the market, share a secret about your favorite flower, and let your voice drop to a whisper when you ask about their dreams. The jesters pause, watching you with knowing smiles. The chaperones lean forward, pretending to be interested in a tapestry on the wall, but you barely notice. Here, in this moment, it's just you and them, and the language of laughter that binds you together. The music begins to swell, a soft cascade of lute strings weaving through the air like golden threads. You feel the beat in your fingertips, the gentle pull of rhythm that makes your toes itch to move. In the Renaissance, music and dance were as much a part of courtship as whispered conversation and stolen glances. You stand, your heart fluttering, and let yourself be led out onto the polished wooden floor. The minstrels in the corner tune their instruments, the flicker of candlelight dancing on the polished brass of the lute. The first notes rise like a sigh, and you find yourself swept up in the moment. A step forward, a step back. A careful choreography that tells a story without words. In the hush between the notes, your eyes meet theirs, and the world seems to fall away. Historians still argue whether these dances were truly spontaneous or rehearsed down to the last bow. But tonight, it feels like the music is pulling you both along, each turn and twirl drawing you closer. The steps are simple, a slow pavane to start, each movement elegant and deliberate. Your partner's hand is warm at your back, guiding you through the ancient patterns. A mainstream historical fact: Renaissance dances were often built around strict patterns. Their formal sequences designed to display not just grace, but social standing. Each turn of the foot, each measured glide spoke of breeding and refinement, a secret language for those who could read it. But beyond the formal elegance, there's a hint of something more playful, more personal. A fringe detail. Did you know that in Venice, there were entire instruction manuals written just for these courtly dances? Guides with charming illustrations of dancers holding hands in intricate patterns, a testament to how seriously this art was taken. You feel the power of the music as it rises, your skirt swishing with each careful turn. The dance is a chance to show your worth, your wit, how well you can read the unspoken signals of your partner. A slip here, a misstep there, and the gossips will whisper for weeks. But tonight, your feet glide as if they've known these steps for years. The minstrels shift to a livelier tune, a galliard that quickens your pulse. You laugh softly as your partner matches your pace, the flicker of their smile like a promise. The world narrows to the soft thud of feet on wood and the sweet strain of the lute. Each turn brings you closer, your breath mingling as you move in perfect time. You're aware, too, of the eyes on you, the chaperones with their eagle stares, the older ladies with their sly smiles. In the Renaissance, a dance was never just a dance. It was a test, a performance, your chance to prove your charm, your grace, your worth. And tonight, you're determined to pass. You find yourself laughing at the little stumbles, the slip of a foot that sends you reeling closer. The music swells, and for a moment, you're almost certain that nothing else matters. The world beyond the music, the alliances, the marriages of convenience, the endless expectations, fades into the background. The final notes drift into silence, and you find yourself standing close enough to feel the warmth of their breath. Your heart is pounding, your lips parted in a smile you can't quite suppress. Around you, the room seems to hold its breath, waiting to see what happens next. You take a step back, your fingers brushing theirs as you curtsy low, your gown pooling around your feet. Your partner bows, the motion graceful and just a touch theatrical. And then the music begins again, softer this time, a slow tune that invites you back into the circle of light. The dance begins anew, and you let yourself be swept along by the rhythm. Each step is a chance to learn, to grow closer, to see if the spark you felt across the table can survive in the bright glare of the dance floor. The laughter, the music, the warmth of your partner's hand, all of it weaves together into something that feels like magic. Outside, the night air is cool and sweet, the scent of crushed herbs rising from the gardens. But inside, the room is a world apart, a place where you can lose yourself in the music and the touch of a hand. You close your eyes for a moment, just to feel the music in your bones, the soft echo of lute strings in your heart. And when you open them again, you find your partner watching you, their smile as soft as the shadows that dance on the walls. You take a deep breath, steady your racing heart, and let the dance carry you away once more. The music winds down as you drift back to the table, breathless and flushed from the dance. You sink into the cushioned chair with a soft sigh, the press of velvet and linen against your skin, a gentle comfort. In the Renaissance, the next phase of the evening's courtship often involved another sort of performance, the sumptuous feast. You're no stranger to these banquets. The clatter of silver platters, the heady scents of roasted meats and spiced pies, the low murmur of voices that rises and falls like the tide. The feast is a spectacle of abundance, designed to impress and to seduce. And tonight, you're determined to play your part with grace. Your companion settles beside you, close enough that your sleeves brush each time you reach for a dish. The table is a kaleidoscope of color, gilded plates piled high with sweetmeats and pomegranates split open to reveal their jeweled seeds. Roasted peacock, its feathers fanned out in a display of savage beauty, takes center stage, while servants glide through the room, offering delicate pastries and crystal goblets of spiced wine. A mainstream historical fact. During the Renaissance, banquets weren't just meals. They were theatrical events. Every dish had a meaning, every course a chance to demonstrate the host's wealth and refinement. For you, tonight, it's another kind of performance, another chance to catch your partner's eye. But there's a danger to all this richness. The etiquette here is a labyrinth. Each fork and spoon a test of your poise. One false move, a slurp of broth too loud, a crumb dropped into your lap, and the gossip will spread like wildfire. You watch the older women across the table, their eyes sharp as they assess every gesture, every lifted goblet. You match their elegance, moving with slow, deliberate grace, your laughter light and easy. Historians still argue whether the elaborate etiquette of these feasts was meant to unify the court or divide it. You can see both sides as you watch the dance of forks and glances around the table. Some find freedom in the rules, others feel caged. But for tonight, you let yourself revel in the beauty of it all. A quirky tidbit. Did you know that some hosts kept trained monkeys in velvet suits to amuse the guests? Their antics, stealing sweetmeats and spilling wine, were both a delight and a cautionary tale. You watch one tonight, tiny paws reaching for a candied almond, and you can't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. Your companion leans in, their voice low, as they point out the monkey's mischief. The joke is shared in a glance, the warmth of laughter drawing you closer than the clink of goblets ever could. It's in these small moments, these flashes of humor and shared amusement, that the real magic of the evening lives. You sample a slice of quince paste, the tart sweetness a sharp contrast to the richness of the roasted meats. Each flavor is a revelation, a promise of the world's endless bounty. The flicker of candlelight makes the wine glow like rubies, and you let yourself be swept up in the sensory riot of it all. Yet beneath the laughter and the feasting, you feel the constant undercurrent of scrutiny. The chaperones at your side, the subtle glances from across the table. Every move you make is being watched. In this world, even a bite of roasted pear can be a statement, a carefully crafted gesture in the endless play of courtly politics. Your partner seems to understand. Their hand hovers just above yours as they pour the wine, a small, silent promise of protection. You meet their eyes, and in that moment, you feel seen, truly seen, beyond the artifice of the feast, beyond the endless swirl of etiquette and ambition. You take a slow sip of the spiced wine, letting the warmth seep into your bones. The feast stretches on around you, each course more elaborate than the last. Glazed figs, sugared almonds, spiced venison. The scent of rosemary and cinnamon fills the air, mingling with the sweet smoke of beeswax candles. You know that tonight, every bite you take is another step in the dance of courtship. You know that tomorrow, the gossips will whisper about who sat where, who spoke to whom. But tonight, you let yourself be in the moment. Each flavor a small rebellion against the weight of expectation. Outside, the night grows darker, the moon a pale crescent above the red-tiled roofs. Inside, the air is warm and golden, heavy with the scent of roasted meats and laughter. You lean back in your chair, your hand resting lightly on the polished wood of the table, and for a moment, you let yourself just breathe. The feast isn't just a meal. It's a tapestry of tastes and textures, a world unto itself. And tonight, you're part of that world. Every laugh and every sigh weaving you deeper into the story. Before we turn the next page, tell me, have you ever kept something secret this long? As the feast winds down and the plates are cleared away, the air thick with the scent of cloves and roasted lamb, your eyes drift beyond the flickering candlelight to the hush of the chapel beyond. In the Renaissance, even in the midst of laughter and music, the sacred spaces loomed large, reminding everyone that love, too, must find a place within the watchful gaze of the church. The clink of goblets fades, replaced by the low murmur of prayers and the soft shuffle of velvet shoes on cool stone floors. You slip away from the feast, your gown brushing the threshold of the chapel as you step inside. The air is cooler here, scented with beeswax and ancient incense. Shadows pool in the corners, and the flickering light of candles reflects off the gilded altar. Historians still argue whether these stolen glances during Mass and Vespers were acts of love or quiet rebellion. For you tonight, it feels like both. The hush of the chapel is a balm after the noise of the feast, a chance to see your companion in the glow of devotion rather than the glare of gossip. You settle into the carved wooden pew, the cold of the stone floor seeping through the thin soles of your shoes. Your companion kneels beside you, their head bowed, but you feel the weight of their gaze even as they murmur prayers under their breath. In the Renaissance, these moments of quiet devotion were also moments of possibility, where a glance could speak volumes and a shared prayer could bind two hearts together in silent promise. A mainstream historical fact, in many Renaissance cities, attending Mass wasn't just a religious duty, it was also a social obligation. Families jockeyed for the best seats, the most prominent places to see and be seen. You remember that as you slip a little closer, your hands folded in your lap, your head bowed just enough to avoid the notice of the older women whose eyes miss nothing. A quirky detail. Some women wore prayer beads laced with perfume-soaked threads, a subtle way to carry a bit of earthly sweetness into the house of God. You catch a faint whiff of rose and sandalwood as your companion's fingers brush yours, and it feels like a secret shared in the hush of the chapel. You close your eyes, listening to the drone of Latin chants and the echo of footsteps on stone. The world of the feast feels far away here, the laughter and the clinking goblets replaced by the quiet weight of centuries. You feel small and vast at the same time, your heartbeat echoing in the stillness. The candles gutter low, their light a flickering dance on the walls. You steal a glance at your companion, their profile carved in gold and shadow. In this sacred space, every breath feels like a prayer, every glance a confession of something too delicate to name. You wonder if they feel it too, the way the air seems to hum with possibility, the soft ache in your chest that has nothing to do with hunger or thirst. You've known each other only a few hours, but in this quiet, you feel like you've known them for a lifetime. Outside, the moonlight spills like silver across the cloisters, the cold air carrying the faint scent of night-blooming flowers. Inside, the warm glow of candles and the soft shuffle of feet are the only sounds. You could almost believe that you're alone here, wrapped in the gentle silence of the sacred. You let your fingers drift over the carved wood of the pew, tracing the smooth whorls worn by centuries of hands. It feels like a link to all the lovers who have come before, who have stolen glances in the hush of prayer and hoped that maybe, just maybe, something true could grow in the spaces between the words. The music of the feast still echoes faintly in your mind, but here, in the chapel, it feels like the world has slowed to a gentle hum. You close your eyes again, let the warmth of the candles and the low chant of the choir lull you into a quiet reverie. And when the final amen is whispered, you rise, your heart steady and your steps sure. The night isn't over yet. There's still so much more to see, so much more to feel. And as you slip your hand into theirs, the glow of the candles fading behind you, you know that tonight is just beginning. You step back out of the chapel and into the night air, the faint scent of roses and burning tallow still clinging to your senses. The feast is winding down, the laughter fading to a low hum, but your thoughts are alive with possibilities. Tonight isn't over yet, not with the secret arts of beauty and scent still to be explored. In the Renaissance, beauty was as much about alchemy as it was about nature. You've already spent hours preparing. Your skin dusted with ground pearls, your lips stained with crushed cherries, your hair perfumed with jasmine water. But now, as you wander through the quiet hallways, you catch whispers of the secret recipes that make hearts race and eyes linger. You pause near a table where a young woman is dabbing at her lips with a tiny pot of vermilion, a mischievous smile playing at the corners of her mouth. Her rouge is made of cochineal beetles ground to a fine powder, a vivid stain of beauty and power. You watch as she applies it with a practiced hand, her reflection in the polished brass mirror flickering like a vision from another world. Historians still argue whether these cosmetics were seen as signs of vanity or as a subtle rebellion against the rigid expectations of the church. But in this moment, you understand their secret language. Each dab of color, a promise. Each flick of the wrist, a declaration of intent. A mainstream historical fact. In Renaissance, Italy, women of status used elaborate perfumes and balms, some imported from as far as Arabia and India, to craft an aura of mystery and allure. These scents were as much a part of your arsenal as a witty remark or a stolen glance. But there's a more eccentric detail too, one that always makes you smile. Crocodile dung, ground and mixed with rose oil, was sometimes used as a sunscreen and skin treatment. Imagine that, dabbing crocodile dung on your cheeks before slipping into your silk gown. Beauty in the Renaissance was not for the faint of heart. You drift closer to a brazier of hot coals, where a copper pot of lavender and sage oil sends up fragrant curls of steam. You close your eyes and let the warmth of it wash over you, the scent rich and calming. Beneath it all, there's a pulse of excitement in your chest, a quiet thrill that makes your breath catch. Your companion joins you at the brazier, their eyes catching yours in the flickering light. They murmur a compliment, soft and warm, and you feel your cheeks flush hotter than the coals. You respond with a gentle laugh, your fingers tracing the edge of the copper pot as you tell them about the secret of scented gloves, how a pair of fine leather gloves, steeped in rose water and civet, could make a heart flutter with every touch. They smile, leaning closer, their voice low and teasing as they share their own secret. A small vial of attar of roses, hidden in the folds of their doublet. You watch as they unstopper it, the rich scent curling around you like a promise. In the soft glow of the brazier, it feels like a spell, one you're both caught in, willingly. The air around you is heavy with the scent of cloves and sweet amber. It clings to your hair, your skin, wrapping you in a haze of possibilities. You know the risks. How too much perfume can be a scandal. How too bold a rouge can invite wagging tongues. But tonight, you let yourself be bold. You let yourself be seen. You take a step closer to your companion, your laughter soft as you share a quip about crocodile dung and the lengths to which people will go for beauty. They laugh with you, and in that moment, the world feels small and bright. Just the two of you, caught up in the alchemy of scent and color. Outside, the night is deepening, the moon a pale coin high above the tiled roofs. But inside, you're wrapped in warmth and fragrance, your senses alive with every breath. You feel the weight of the moment, the way your heart quickens each time they lean closer, each time your laughter mingles. And as you turn away from the brazier, your fingers still scented with lavender, you know the night is far from over. There are still dances to be danced, secrets to be whispered, and maybe, just maybe, a promise to be made before the dawn. You drift back into the main hall, the gentle flicker of candlelight guiding your way. But tonight's dance isn't just between you and your companion. It's also with the ever-watchful chaperones who linger at the edges of every conversation. In the Renaissance, no courtship was truly private, and every stolen glance came with the risk of discovery. The chaperones move like silent sentinels, their eyes sharp as hawks as they watch you laugh and lean closer. You catch sight of one matronly figure, her lips pursed in perpetual disapproval as she adjusts the stiff ruff around her neck. Her presence is a quiet reminder that even the most innocent flirtation is part of a larger performance. You feel her gaze settle on you as you slip into a conversation with your companion. Your laughter just a shade too soft, your smile a touch too long. She clears her throat pointedly, a silent warning that you're treading a fine line. You straighten your spine, but your heart still flutters, like a bird testing the strength of its cage. Historians still argue whether chaperones were protectors or jailers, champions of virtue or architects of suspicion. In this moment, they feel like both, sentinels of propriety, and yet perhaps a quiet test of your wit and daring. A mainstream historical fact: in many Renaissance courts, chaperones, often family members or trusted servants, were an essential part of any public gathering. Their job wasn't just to watch, but to ensure that every interaction followed the strict codes of honor that governed courtly love. A quirky detail: some chaperones took their roles so seriously that they carried tiny notebooks, scribbling down every word and glance to report later to suspicious parents. You wonder, half amused and half terrified, if the matron across the room is already filling her ledger with your every sigh and smile. You and your companion share a glance, a small conspiratorial flicker of understanding that passes between you like a secret. You lean closer, lowering your voice as if to share a scandalous secret. "Do you think she's writing sonnets about us?" you murmur, your tone light and teasing. They grin in response, their laughter low and warm. a spark that cuts through the watchful silence. Still, you can't ignore the weight of the chaperone's gaze, the way it presses in around the edges of your conversation. It's a reminder that every word tonight must be chosen with care, every glance measured and weighed. And yet, there's a certain thrill in it too. The knowledge that you're dancing along the edge of propriety, one slip away from scandal. Your companion reaches for your hand beneath the table, their fingers brushing yours just once before pulling back. It's a fleeting touch, but it sends a shiver through you, proof that even under the watchful eyes of chaperones, the heart will find its way. You take a slow breath, steadying yourself as you continue the polite conversation that masks the quiet storm inside. You talk of music, of poetry, of the latest shipment of silks from the East. The words are safe, the topics chosen to satisfy the watchful eyes of the matron in the corner. But your eyes say other things. Your eyes speak of laughter and longing and the sweet ache of a connection that defies the rules. Outside the windows, the night air is cool and damp, the scent of the garden's night-blooming flowers drifting in on the breeze. Inside, the room is warm and bright, the low murmur of voices weaving around you like a spell. You wonder if the matron ever remembers what it felt like to sit where you sit, heart racing and breath caught in your throat, waiting for a single glance to change everything. You catch her eye for a moment, just long enough to see a flicker of something softer, something almost wistful, before she straightens her shoulders and turns away. Perhaps even chaperones have memories of laughter and late-night promises, of dances that linger long after the music fades. The night stretches on, and you feel the press of time in every beat of your heart. You know the chaperones won't leave until the candles gutter low and the last sweetmeat is gone from the table. But tonight, you're willing to play the game, to dance within the rules and find your own way to the quiet spaces where secrets are whispered and promises made. You take one last sip of sweet wine, the taste of honey and clove lingering on your tongue, and let your laughter ring just a little louder. Because tonight, you're not just playing a part, you're writing your own story, one glance and one smile at a time. The night grows deeper, the candles sputtering low as the hall hums with quiet laughter and the shuffle of silk slippers. You're no stranger to this stage by now. The stolen glances, the subtle dance of fans and folded hands. But here in the quiet corners, behind the brocade curtains and the ancient tapestries, love finds a way to bloom in secret. In the Renaissance, secrecy was a kind of art form all its own. You step away from the main room, your companion close behind you, your footsteps hushed on the worn stone floor. The air in the corridor is cool and heavy with the scent of night-blooming jasmine, and your heart beats quick and bright in the stillness. Historians still argue whether these whispered encounters were acts of rebellion or the only true way to forge a connection in a world of chaperones and watchful eyes. You're not sure which side you'd choose, but as you lean closer to your companion, the quiet becomes a kind of promise, a mainstream historical fact. In many courts of the Renaissance, lovers would slip secret notes into prayer books, hidden between the pages of psalms and saints. These messages were written in careful script, tucked away to be read only when the world turned its back. Your companion reaches for you now, their fingers gentle against your wrist. They press a folded scrap of parchment into your hand, its edges worn soft by the touch of countless hopes. Your fingers close around it, the paper warm from the heat of their palm. You tuck it into your sleeve with a practiced motion, your pulse thrumming in your throat. A quirky tidbit. Some daring lovers even learn to write in invisible ink. Lemon juice and sunlight revealing secret confessions that would vanish again with the night. You imagine the thrill of it, the risk, the sweet secrecy, the way a single word could set your heart alight. You slip further down the corridor, your companion's hand steady at your back. The world narrows to the soft sound of your breath, the whisper of your gown's hem against the stone floor. Here, in the hush of shadows and the faint glimmer of moonlight, every glance feels sharper, every sigh a secret shared. You pause near a carved doorway, the wood dark and cool beneath your fingers. Your companion leans closer, their breath warm on your cheek as they murmur words meant only for you. The soft brush of lips at your ear, the gentle press of fingers at your waist. It's a language of touch and sighs, as old as the moon above you. You laugh softly, the sound swallowed by the night, and for a moment you forget the watchful eyes that wait beyond the curtains. Here, you are just two souls caught in the magic of the moment. No titles, no family expectations, no endless rules to follow. Just the soft hush of breath and the gentle tremor of your heart. You lean back, your head tilted, your smile a quiet dare. If the matron could see us now, you whisper, and your companion laughs, the sound low and rich as velvet. The darkness around you seems to lean closer, the scent of jasmine thick and heady in the air. You know this can't last. These moments always end with the chiming of bells, the bright flare of dawn's first light. But tonight, you let yourself believe in the magic of the moment. You let yourself feel the warmth of their hand at your back, the soft ache of longing that hums in your chest. You close your eyes for a moment, just to feel the quiet around you, the distant strains of music, the faint crackle of candles, the low murmur of the world beyond. And then you open them again, your gaze meeting theirs, and you let yourself hope, just for tonight. You step back into the main hall, your laughter soft and easy as you join the others once more. But in your sleeve, the secret note waits, a promise of something sweeter than the richest feast, a memory of the night when you dared to let your heart slip past the chaperone's watchful gaze. The laughter in the hall fades to a softer murmur as the musicians pack away their lutes and viols, the last notes of the evening's music echoing in the rafters like a memory. You find your place by the fire, the warmth of it a gentle balm against the chill that seeps through the stone walls. Around you, the talk is hushed but bright, gossip and sighs weaving together in a tapestry of whispered confessions and knowing smiles. In the Renaissance, the line between public performance and private heartbreak was as thin as the silk of your gown. You watch the flicker of candlelight in the eyes of your companions, each glance a story half told, each sigh a promise or a regret. You know that some of these courtships end in laughter and joy, but others, like threads too tightly pulled, end in heartbreak. Historians still argue whether these heartbreaks were simply the cost of ambition or a quiet act of defiance against a world that valued family name above all else. For you, tonight, it feels like both. You've seen it already in the way one girl's smile slips when her suitor's eyes drift elsewhere, in the soft hitch of breath that betrays a broken promise. A mainstream historical fact: Renaissance Italy was a place of strict social contracts, where families traded daughters like so many pieces on a chessboard. Marriage was often more about politics and power than passion, and the heart was too often a casualty of the game. Yet even in this world, there are moments of sweetness, like the way your companion's eyes still find yours across the crowded room, a flicker of warmth that refuses to fade. You know that heartbreak is always a risk, but tonight you let yourself believe in the possibility of something gentler, something real, a quirky detail. Some spurned lovers in the Renaissance would commission songs, tiny tragedies in melody and verse, to immortalize their heartbreak. You catch snatches of one such song tonight, a soft ballad played on the edge of the hall, its words a quiet echo of every secret fear and unspoken hope. You let the music wash over you, your gaze lingering on your companion's face as they lean back in their chair, a small, tired smile playing at the corners of their lips. You wonder what stories they carry in their heart, what heartbreaks, what hidden triumphs. You wonder if tonight you might become one of those stories, written in the soft brush of fingers and the shared laughter of a single evening. The fire crackles softly, the warmth of it chasing away the shadows that linger in the corners of the hall. You lean closer to your companion, your voice low, as you share a gentle joke about the peacock's extravagant tail feathers. How even beauty can be a burden when it becomes a cage. They laugh, the sound warm and bright in the hush of the night, and you feel your heart flutter in answer. You know that tomorrow, the world will return with all its rules and expectations. The chaperones will whisper, the gossip will spread, and the game of alliances and family names will go on as it always has. But tonight, in the soft glow of the firelight, you let yourself be just a girl with a secret smile and a heart that beats too fast. You lean back in your chair, your hands resting in your lap, and you watch the shadows dance across the carved beams of the ceiling. You think of the note hidden in your sleeve, the promise of another meeting, another laugh, another quiet rebellion against a world that wants to keep you in your place. And for a moment, the heartbreaks of the past and the fears of the future fade away, leaving only the soft glow of the fire and the warmth of the hand that finds yours beneath the table. Tonight, you let yourself believe that sometimes, even in a world of duty and ambition, the heart can still find its way. The firelight glows low and warm as you watch the night wind down, the gentle murmur of conversation like the last ripples of a stream after a storm. You know that soon the feasting will end, the laughter will quiet, and everyone will slip back into the roles they wear like second skins. But for now, you're content to let the warmth of the hearth and the quiet closeness of your companion wrap around you like a cloak. In the Renaissance, marriage was a world unto itself, an intricate dance of alliances and bargains that could make or break a family's fortunes. Love was often only a small part of it, a whisper in the roar of dowries and family names. You watch as an older woman across the room adjusts the fine gold chain at her throat, her sharp eyes already measuring her son's future in the soft smiles of a young heiress at the next table. Historians still argue whether these marriage markets were acts of cold calculation or quiet desperation. You've seen enough to know it's a little of both. Tonight, every laugh and every shared glance is also a negotiation, a delicate balancing act between what your heart wants and what your family demands. A mainstream historical fact: dowries in the Renaissance could be staggeringly large, often equaling the entire wealth of a noble household. They were a price paid for security, for status, for the hope that two families might join in strength rather than suspicion. You wonder if your dowry, the fine linens and silver spoons, the promises of fertile lands and loyal servants, will be enough to satisfy those measuring eyes. But there's another layer to all this, one that isn't written in contracts or counted in coins. It's there in the soft tremor of your companion's laugh, in the way their fingers brush yours in the quiet spaces between conversations. It's a reminder that while the world might want to trade you like a prized tapestry, your heart still has a voice of its own. A quirky tidbit: some families went to extraordinary lengths to ensure a match, sending gifts of songbirds and rare fruits across oceans to woo a wealthy suitor. You picture a bright feathered parrot chattering in some distant merchant's courtyard, a living token of a promise that might never be kept. Your companion's voice draws you back to the present, a low murmur as they share a quiet joke about the endless negotiations and the way even a simple dinner can feel like a royal audience. You laugh, your voice soft and easy, and for a moment, the weight of family ambition fades in the warmth of their smile. You know that the night is almost over. The candles have burned low, their light soft and flickering against the polished wood of the table. The servants have begun to clear the platters, their careful steps a quiet echo of the music that played earlier. But you linger, your hand resting lightly on the table, your gaze meeting theirs in the hush of the hour. You talk of small things, of the taste of quince and honey, of the soft velvet of a new gown, of the way the moon looks when it's high and bright over the red-tiled roofs. Each word is a thread, weaving a tapestry of quiet understanding that feels more real than the endless negotiations of dowries and alliances. And yet, beneath the soft talk and the shared laughter, you feel the pull of the world outside this hall. You know that tomorrow, your family will measure your worth in coins and titles, in the width of your dowry chest and the sheen of your pearls. You know that love, for all its sweetness, is only one part of the puzzle. But tonight, you let yourself believe in the power of a glance, a laugh, a touch. You let yourself believe that even in a world that trades daughters like fine silk, the heart can still find a way to speak. Your companion reaches for your hand, their fingers brushing yours with a touch that's both gentle and sure. You feel the warmth of their skin, the quiet promise in the way they hold your gaze. And in that moment, you know that while the world may try to shape you into something it can trade and bargain, your heart is still your own. The last of the wine is poured, the sweet notes of honey and spice lingering on your tongue as you raise your goblet in a quiet toast. To what? You're not sure. Perhaps to the hope of something real in a world that values appearances above all else. You sip slowly, the wine warm and rich as it slides down your throat. You let the taste linger. Let the warmth of it seep into your bones. Outside, the night is cool and still, the moon a pale guardian in the velvet sky. Inside, the hall is a cocoon of light and warmth, a place where for a little while you can be something more than just a pawn in someone else's game. You lean back in your chair, your hand still wrapped in theirs, and you let yourself smile, a soft, secret smile that belongs to no one but you. Because tonight, for all the bargains and the measured glances, you've found something that can't be traded or bought. The quiet certainty of a connection that runs deeper than any dowry. And as the last candles gutter and the final sweetmeats are carried away, You know that this night, with its laughter and its soft promises, will stay with you long after the dawn comes. As the last of the candles flicker low and the laughter in the hall softens to a gentle murmur, your thoughts drift beyond these walls to stories of love that cross oceans and mountains. In the Renaissance, courting wasn't always confined to the city's walls. Sometimes it reached beyond borders, carried on the wind like the scent of spices from far-off lands. You've heard the stories of merchant daughters who sent embroidered handkerchiefs to men they'd never met, of letters carried on the backs of camels and caravans, of foreign suitors whose accents carried a thrill of the unknown. Tonight, as you lean back in your chair, the flickering firelight dances in your companion's eyes, and you wonder how many hearts have been won with a single word, spoken in a language half familiar and half mystery. Historians still argue whether these foreign matches were driven by love or the lure of wealth and new alliances. Perhaps it's a little of both. You know that for many, a marriage beyond borders meant more than just a new name. It meant the promise of adventure, the quiet thrill of learning the customs and secrets of a distant land. A mainstream historical fact, Renaissance Italy was a hub of trade and culture, with merchant ships carrying silks from the East and silver from the Americas. Marriages between local nobles and foreign merchants weren't just common, they were celebrated, a testament to the city's wealth and open doors. A quirky tidbit: some Renaissance merchant families kept detailed ledgers of these long-distance courtships, recording everything from the price of a wedding dress to the precise number of oranges gifted in a trade deal. Love, after all, was just another kind of contract, one written in ledgers and sealed with wax. You find yourself leaning closer to your companion, your voice soft, as you ask if they've ever dreamed of traveling beyond the city's walls, of seeing the sun rise over the minarets of Constantinople, or hearing the soft strains of a flute drifting down the alleys of Marrakesh. Their eyes brighten, the quiet spark of curiosity mirroring your own. For a moment, the world seems to expand beyond the flickering firelight, stretching out to the rolling seas and the distant markets where languages blend and hearts learn new rhythms. You talk of spices you've never tasted, of fabrics so fine they shimmer like moonlight, of songs that speak of loves as fleeting and bright as the dawn. Your companion tells you of a merchant's ballad, a tale of a Florentine girl who fell in love with a Venetian sailor. Her letters carried across the water in the hollow of a carved wooden swan. You laugh softly, the story a bright thread in the quiet tapestry of the night. In a world of arranged matches and carefully measured alliances, these stories feel like small rebellions, proof that the heart will always find a way to wander. Outside, the night air is cool and crisp, carrying the faint scent of the sea from the distant docks. You imagine the ships there, their sails furled tight against the masts, waiting for the morning tide. You imagine the promises made beneath those sails, promises of silk and saffron, of letters sealed with wax, and the quiet ache of longing. You take a slow breath, your fingers brushing the edge of the table as you watch the shadows dance across the walls. You know that tomorrow, the world will pull you back into its web of expectations and duties. But tonight, in the hush between the last notes of music and the first stirrings of dawn, you let yourself believe in the possibility of a love that knows no borders. Your companion's hand finds yours, their touch warm and steady in the flickering light. You share a smile, a soft, secret smile that speaks of shared dreams and whispered hopes. Because in this moment, the world feels small enough to hold in your palm, and your heart feels brave enough to reach for something more. And so, you let the night carry you deeper into its quiet magic, your laughter and your sighs weaving together like the soft threads of a tapestry still being written. For tonight at least, the world is wide and full of possibility, and your heart is ready to wander. The candles gutter lower as the night draws on, and you find yourself in a quiet corner of the hall, your companion's hand resting lightly in yours. The laughter and the music have faded to a soft murmur, like the memory of a dream, but your heart still hums with possibility. In the Renaissance, words were more than just conversation. They were weapons and gifts, spells and charms woven into the fabric of every encounter. Tonight, the art of the letter comes alive. You watch as your companion pulls a small parchment from the folds of their doublet, the creamy vellum soft in the flickering glow of the candles. It's sealed with a splash of bright red wax, a promise pressed into the delicate curves of the family crest. They hand it to you, their fingers brushing yours in a touch that sends a soft shiver down your spine. Historians still argue whether these letters were acts of true devotion or carefully crafted performances meant to dazzle and disarm. But as you break the wax and unfold the parchment, the scent of rosewater rising with the crackle of paper, you feel the breathless excitement of a promise whispered in the dark. A mainstream historical fact. In the Renaissance, letter writing was an art form all its own. Courtiers and poets spent hours perfecting the elegant loops of their script, each word chosen to stir the heart and prove their wit. Love letters were traded like treasures, carried in sleeves and prayer books, pressed close to the heart. A quirky tidbit: some wrote in perfumed ink, the letters laced with the scent of rose or musk, so that each word carried not just meaning, but memory. You imagine the heady perfume that clings to the parchment in your hand tonight, the quiet promise of every curve and flourish. You read slowly, your lips moving in a soft whisper as you trace each word. The letter is a poem, a gentle play of light and shadow that speaks of laughter and longing, of dances and candlelight, and secrets shared in quiet corners. Your companion watches your face as you read, their smile a soft curve that makes your heart quicken. When you finish, you lift your eyes to theirs, your breath caught in your throat. "It's beautiful," you murmur, and they laugh, the sound low and warm in the hush of the hall. "I hoped you'd think so," they say, their fingers brushing the back of your hand in a silent thank you. You find yourself drawn into the game of it, your own words itching to be written. You ask for a quill and parchment, your heart beating fast as you dip the tip into the inky darkness. You write slowly, your hand steady despite the flutter in your chest. Each word a soft echo of the laughter and longing that fills the space between you. You write of the way the candlelight flickers in their eyes, of the gentle hush of the night and the soft warmth of their touch. You write of the dance and the feast, of the secrets you've shared and the quiet hopes that linger like perfume in the air. And when you're done, you fold the letter and press it into their hand, your smile soft and shy. A jester's trick, a gentle challenge, a quiet duel of words. In the Renaissance, poetry wasn't just for poets. It was for anyone brave enough to bare their heart in ink and paper. Tonight, you're that brave. your words a small rebellion against the careful masks you wear by day. Your companion reads your letter, their lips moving in a slow smile as they trace each word. You have a poet's soul, they say, and you laugh, the sound low and breathless. Only for tonight, you reply, though in your heart you wonder if perhaps it's always been there, waiting for this moment. Outside, the night air is cool and still, the moon a pale whisper above the red-tiled roofs. But inside, the air is warm and rich with the scent of wax and rosewater, the soft hush of voices weaving around you like a spell. You lean back in your chair, your hand resting lightly in theirs, and you let yourself believe in the power of words to weave a promise that lingers long after the candles have gone out. You talk of poetry and of music, of letters carried across oceans and poems whispered beneath balconies. You wonder aloud if words can truly capture the flutter of a heart, the soft ache of longing that hums beneath every glance. Your companion answers with a quiet certainty that makes you believe, just for tonight, that they can. And so, you let the night carry you deeper into its quiet magic, your laughter and your words weaving together into something soft and real. Tomorrow, the world will return with its endless rules and watchful eyes. But tonight, in the hush of the hall and the soft glow of candlelight, your heart speaks in letters and laughter, and you let it be heard. As the last of the wine is poured and the fire burns low to glowing coals, you tuck the letter into the folds of your sleeve, a secret promise pressed close to your heart. And when the final song is played and the last candle guttered, you rise with your companion by your side, the words you've shared lingering like a soft echo in the dark. Tonight, you've written your own story, a quiet poem of glances and laughter, of words that dared to reach beyond the safety of silence. And as you step out into the cool night air, the moon high and the world hushed around you, you carry that story with you, a gentle light to guide you home. The quiet of the night follows you as you leave the echo of the last song behind, the hush of the dark garden wrapping around you like a soft cloak. The moon hangs low and bright, silver light brushing the tops of the cypress trees that line the narrow pathways. Your companion's hand is warm in yours, a small anchor in the cool air. Tonight, your thoughts drift to the promises and perils of dowries, the secret weight that hangs like a shadow over every whispered word of courtship. In the Renaissance, a dowry was more than a chest of silver and fine linens. It was the price of your future, a currency paid in silks and land, in alliances and hopes. You feel the weight of it in the quiet of the night, the way the world sees you not just as a girl in a velvet gown, but as a careful balance of gold and land and bloodlines. Historians still argue whether the dowry was a gift of protection or a gilded chain. You've heard the debates. Some say it was a woman's only power, a bargaining chip in a world that traded daughters like coins. Others whisper that it was a cage, a golden trap that held the heart hostage to duty and ambition. A mainstream historical fact, in Florence and Venice, dowries could be staggering, enough to bankrupt a lesser family or enrich a powerful one for generations. A bride's worth was measured in the weight of her dowry chest, the clink of coins more important than the soft laughter shared under moonlight. A quirky tidbit: some families even paid a dowry insurance, a special fund in case the groom decided to flee the altar or the bride's family fell on hard times. Imagine that. Love with a clause, a guarantee that even heartbreak could be measured in ducats and scudi. You walk slowly through the garden, the scent of night-blooming roses rich and sweet in the cool air. Your companion is quiet beside you, their thumb tracing small circles against your palm. You know they understand the weight of the dowry too, the careful calculus that hovers over every soft laugh and shared glance. You pause near a small marble fountain, its water silver bright in the moonlight. The gentle trickle is a quiet music in the hush of the night, a soft counterpoint to the rush of thoughts that tumble through your mind. You lean against the cool stone, the damp chill a small shock against the heat of your skin. Your companion joins you, their hands slipping from yours to rest at the small of your back. "It's a heavy thing," they say softly, their voice low and sure. "All that gold, all those promises. Sometimes I wonder if it's possible to find something real beneath it all." You turn to meet their eyes, the moonlight catching the soft curve of their smile. "Maybe it is," you say, your voice no more than a whisper. "Maybe that's why we're here, trying to find the heart in the middle of all this noise." You watch as a night moth flits through the air, its wings catching the silver light like a fragile promise. The world beyond the garden walls is full of rules and reckonings, of ledgers and alliances measured in dowries and titles. But here, in the hush of the night and the soft glow of the moon, you let yourself believe in the quiet spaces that words and coins cannot touch. You lean closer, your shoulder brushing theirs, the soft rustle of your gown, the only sound in the dark. You know that tomorrow the talk will turn to numbers. How many ducats for this estate? How many acres for that title? But tonight, you're content to stand in the quiet, your laughter and your sighs weaving together like a soft thread of rebellion. The fountain trickles on, the moonlight turning the water to molten silver. You close your eyes for a moment, breathing in the cool scent of roses and night air, and you let yourself imagine a world where love isn't measured in dowries, where a soft smile can be worth more than a chest of gold. You know that world may never exist, not truly, but tonight it feels close enough to touch, close enough to taste in the warm press of your companion's hand and the soft hush of the garden around you. And that, you decide, is enough. You turn back toward the hall, the soft glow of candlelight spilling through the tall windows. The laughter has quieted to a gentle murmur, the last of the wine poured and the final song sung. But in the garden, the night still holds its breath, and you let yourself linger a moment longer, your heart quiet and steady in the hush of it all. As you walk back toward the light, your hand finds theirs again, a silent promise that for tonight, at least, the heart will speak louder than the weight of any dowry chest. And in the hush of the garden, beneath the watchful gaze of the moon, you let yourself believe, just for tonight, that it will be enough. The candles burn lower still as you step back into the warmth of the hall, the laughter hushed now to a soft murmur that ripples through the air like a sigh. But the night is far from over, and you feel it in the quickening of your pulse as your companion leans close and the hush of footsteps in the darkened corridors. In the Renaissance, the games of courtship didn't always end with a final bow at the feast. Sometimes they slipped into the secret corners of moonlight, the hush of gardens, and the quiet promise of a stolen kiss. You feel the air thicken with possibility, the sweet tension of something unspoken hanging between you. Historians still argue whether these moonlit encounters were sweet confessions or scandalous rebellions. For you, tonight, they feel like both. The hush of the night is a promise, a challenge, one that you're ready to meet. A mainstream historical fact. In Italy and France, moonlit serenades were a cherished tradition. A young man would sing beneath a lady's balcony, his voice a soft echo of every stolen glance and secret sigh. The songs were sometimes accompanied by a lute or a viol, the gentle strum of strings weaving through the night air like a spell. A quirky detail. Some gallant suitors would climb trellises or scale garden walls just for a chance to whisper a promise beneath the stars. It was a boldness that could lead to laughter or scandal, or, if fortune smiled, a promise of something deeper. You find yourself stepping back into the garden, the night air cool against your skin, and the hush of the world around you like a soft sigh. Your companion's hand is warm in yours, their fingers steady as you slip down a narrow path lined with roses heavy with dew. The moon hangs bright above the cypress trees, a silver witness to the quiet ache of your heartbeat. Your companion stops, turning to face you, their smile soft and a little uncertain. "Do you believe in magic?" they whisper, their breath a warm hush in the cool night. You laugh, the sound low and sweet in the hush of the garden. "Only the kind we make ourselves," you reply, your voice as soft as the velvet dark around you. And then you reach up, your fingers brushing the curve of their cheek, your heart beating faster as they lean closer still. The kiss is a soft promise, a breath of warmth in the cool night air. It's nothing like the measured steps of the pavane or the careful phrases of a dinner conversation. It's something raw and real, a quiet rebellion against the weight of dowries and alliances, a small, sweet victory for the heart. You pull back, your breath caught in your throat, your laughter soft as you lean your forehead against theirs. For a moment, the world feels small and safe. The press of your hand in theirs, the only thing that matters. You know that tomorrow, the world will be waiting. Whispers and watchful eyes, careful bargains and endless expectations. But tonight, here in the hush of moonlight and roses, you let yourself believe in something simpler. The garden is alive with the soft hum of crickets and the faint scent of jasmine, the moonlight turning the dew to silver on the velvet petals of the roses. You let your fingers trace the curve of a bloom, the softness of it a quiet echo of the warmth in your chest. Your companion watches you with a small, wondering smile, their eyes bright in the silver glow of the night. "You're dangerous, you know," they murmur, their voice low and warm. You smile in answer, your laughter a soft music that lingers in the hush of the garden. "Only to those who don't listen," you reply, your voice a quiet dare. And you lean closer once more, your lips brushing theirs in another soft kiss that tastes of moonlight and laughter. The night stretches out around you, the world held at bay by the hush of the garden and the quiet certainty of the moment. You know it can't last. These moments never do. But for tonight, you let yourself be a girl in a velvet gown, a soft smile on your lips, and a secret promise in your heart. You linger there in the garden, your laughter and your sighs weaving together in the hush of the night. Tomorrow will come, with its ledgers and bargains and measured glances. But tonight, you let yourself believe that a kiss in moonlight can be enough, that sometimes the heart can speak louder than the world. And as the last of the candles flickers out in the hall behind you, you turn to your companion and smile, your hand steady in theirs. Because tonight, the world is small and sweet, and your heart is brave enough to believe in a little magic. The moon has begun its slow descent as you and your companion drift back into the warm glow of the hall, your laughter soft and breathless in the hush of the night. But even as the music fades and the candles burn low, there is still one final dance of courtship to be played out. The exchange of small gifts, the tokens of affection that whisper 1,000 promises in the flicker of candlelight. In the Renaissance, love was often measured in the smallest things: a ribbon, a locket of hair, a glove scented with rosewater. These were not just trinkets, they were messages, each one chosen with care and given with the hope that it might be worn close to the heart. Historians still argue whether these tokens were truly about love or about power, the way a simple brooch might speak of loyalty, or a scented glove might hint at secret liaisons. You see both sides tonight as you watch a young couple in the corner, their heads bent together over a small, velvet-wrapped package. A mainstream historical fact. In Italy, it was customary for a man to give his beloved a silk ribbon or a fine glove, each stitch a quiet vow. In some courts, locks of hair were carefully braided and tied with ribbons, worn close to the heart or hidden in a small silver locket. A quirky detail: some lovers would slip tiny pieces of folded paper, scented with rose or lavender, into the gloves they gave, each note a promise of devotion or a whispered joke meant to make the recipient smile when they slipped the glove onto their hand. Your companion's hand finds yours, their fingers warm and sure as they press a small bundle into your palm. It's wrapped in a square of soft linen, the edges frayed from careful handling. You feel the weight of it, the soft promise of something chosen just for you, and your breath catches in your throat. You unwrap it slowly, your fingers gentle on the worn fabric. Inside is a glove of fine leather, the pale cream of it soft and supple beneath your touch. You press it to your cheek for a moment, breathing in the faint scent of rose and beeswax. It's a small thing, but it feels like a promise whispered against your skin. You lift your gaze to meet theirs, your smile soft and bright in the candlelight. "It's beautiful," you say, your voice low and certain. And in the warmth of their answering smile, you feel the world grow quiet and small, as if it's holding its breath, just for you. You want to give something in return, something to show that your heart is as full as theirs. You slip the small comb from your hair, the ivory smooth and cool in your fingers. It's not much, but it's yours, a part of you offered in trust and hope. You press it into their hand, your laughter soft and shy as you murmur, "For luck," or "for memory." They take it carefully, their fingers brushing yours in a touch that makes your heart skip. "I'll treasure it," they say, and you believe them, not because of the weight of the gift, but because of the quiet reverence in their voice. Around you, the hall is a hush of shadows and laughter, the last of the wine poured, and the final notes of music lingering like a sigh. But in the small circle of light where you stand, the world feels gentle and close, the hush of it wrapping around you like the warmth of a soft cloak. You tuck the glove into your sleeve, the fine leather, a quiet promise pressed close to your heart. It's a small thing, but tonight it feels like everything. The weight of hope and laughter, the echo of soft words shared in moonlight, and the scent of rose oil on your skin. You lean back, your shoulder brushing theirs as you watch the candles burn low. Tomorrow, the world will ask you for bigger things. alliances and dowries, measured glances and endless negotiations. But tonight, you let yourself believe in the small gifts that speak of something truer and brighter. And as you rest your head against your companion's shoulder, the hush of the night around you, you know that these small tokens will linger long after the music has faded. A glove, a comb, a soft smile shared in the hush of the night. Proof that even in a world of grandeur and gold, the heart can still speak in small, sweet things. The candles are burning low now, their glow a soft haze of amber light that flickers and dances along the polished wood of the tables. The last of the sweetmeats are gone, the final song sung, but the night is far from gentle as the small currents of jealousy and whispered slights begin to ripple through the quiet. In the Renaissance, courtship wasn't just poetry and laughter. It was also a dangerous game of rivalries and resentments, each word and gesture a thread in a tapestry that could unravel with the slightest pull. You see it in the flicker of narrowed eyes as one suitor watches another's hand brush yours. In the small, tight smiles of girls whose laughter rings a shade too bright. Historians still argue whether these jealousies were born of true passion or the bitter sting of pride. But tonight you can feel their weight in the hush of the hall. A mainstream historical fact. In the Renaissance courts of Italy and France, jealousy was considered a sign of ardor, a passion so strong it could drive men to madness or murder. Courtly love was a dangerous business, and many a song was written in blood as well as in ink. A quirky tidbit. There are stories of Venetian ladies who would secretly swap perfumes with their rivals, trying to catch a lover's wandering eye with the faintest change in scent. You catch a whiff of orange blossom tonight, and you wonder whose perfume it truly is. Your companion's hand tightens on yours, a quiet promise in the hush of the night. But you see the way another's gaze lingers on them, the soft challenge in the arch of an eyebrow. You know that in this world, affection is currency and jealousy the price of every stolen glance. You lean in close, your laughter a soft shield against the murmurs that flicker at the edge of your thoughts. Do you think the night can be both sweet and bitter? You whisper, your voice low and teasing. Your companion smiles, their lips a soft curve in the candlelight. Only if we let it, they reply, their hand brushing a loose curl from your cheek. But you feel it still, the quiet hum of rivalry in the hush of the hall. The older women watch with knowing eyes, their smiles small and sharp as they weigh each glance, each laugh. You wonder if they remember what it felt like, that soft ache of wanting and the sting of knowing someone else might want the same. The night stretches on, the air thick with the soft musk of spiced wine and the sweeter scent of rosewater. In a quiet corner, you catch the low murmur of a lover's quarrel, the soft hush of a promise broken, and the brittle laughter that follows. You turn away, your fingers tightening around your companions as if to banish the thought of heartbreak with the surety of their touch. You know that tomorrow, the world will whisper its judgments. Who looked at whom? Who smiled too long? Who let their gaze linger in the wrong direction? You know that every small slip will be woven into the gossip that fuels the morning's chatter. But tonight, you let yourself believe that laughter can outshine jealousy, that the soft warmth of a hand in yours can be enough to hold the darkness at bay. Your companion's thumb brushes the back of your hand, a gentle reassurance that steadies your racing heart. You lean into the warmth of them, your shoulder brushing theirs as you watch the last of the candles gutter and fade. You wonder How many hearts have broken in this hall? How many have soared? How many have learned the delicate art of hiding their fears behind a soft smile and a quiet laugh? The night is heavy with the scent of lavender and beeswax, the low murmur of voices weaving around you like a spell. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the hush of it all wrap around you like a soft cloak. And when you open them again, your gaze meets theirs, steady and warm in the flickering light. Whatever the world whispers, you murmur, your voice low and sure, I will remember this moment, this night. And in their answering smile, you find a quiet promise that even in a world of rivalry and revenge, the heart can still find a way to speak. The candles have nearly burned themselves to stubs, their warm glow flickering low as the last of the evening's laughter fades to a gentle hush. The hall is quiet now, the echoes of music lingering like ghosts in the high-beamed ceiling. But there is one final chapter to this night's story, a chapter of union and new beginnings, of weddings woven from laughter and whispered promises. In the Renaissance, a wedding was not just the joining of two hearts. It was a spectacle, a performance that stretched from dawn to dusk and beyond. You watch as the last of the guests slip away, their gowns brushing the stone floor like soft sighs, and you know that soon enough, the tables will be cleared to make way for the feast of feasts, the wedding banquet. Historians still argue whether these marriages were truly about love or merely the careful weaving of alliances between families. But tonight, in the hush that follows the music, you can almost believe in the sweetness of it all, the quiet hope that lingers in the space between a bride's trembling hand and a groom's shy smile. A mainstream historical fact, Renaissance weddings could last for days, each meal more elaborate than the last, each dance a chance for families to prove their wealth and grace. They were affairs of pageantry and poetry, of golden gowns and silver goblets, of laughter and tears. A quirky tidbit. In Florence, it was considered good luck for the bride to wear a small sprig of rosemary woven into her hair, a symbol of remembrance and fidelity. You wonder if, tomorrow, you'll see a young bride with rosemary glinting in her dark curls, her smile a soft echo of every hope you've carried in your own heart tonight. Your companion leans closer, their voice soft in the hush of the hall. Will you stay for the wedding? They ask, their hand brushing yours in a touch as light as a promise. You smile, your breath a quiet sigh in the dark. I wouldn't miss it, you reply, your voice warm and sure. The hall is being swept clean, the last of the sweetmeats carried away on silver trays, the flicker of candlelight catching in the gleam of polished wood. You imagine how it will look tomorrow. Garlands of ivy and laurel twined around the pillars, the air thick with the scent of rosemary and myrtle, the low hum of lutes and viols filling the air with soft music. You let your thoughts drift to the young couple who will stand at the heart of it all, their hands clasped in a quiet vow that binds more than just two souls. You remember the stories you've heard tonight, of love found in stolen glances and laughter shared in shadowed corners, of heartbreak hidden behind careful smiles and hope that refuses to be silenced. You know that for some, the wedding will be a gilded cage, the weight of family expectations pressed into every golden thread of the bride's gown. But for others, it will be a gentle beginning, a chance to build something tender and true in the quiet spaces of the world. You feel your companion's hand tighten around yours, their thumb brushing small circles against your skin. You turn to meet their gaze, the soft light of the candles turning their eyes to warm pools of gold. "What do you hope for?" you ask, your voice a quiet murmur in the hush of the night. They smile, a slow, thoughtful curve of lips that makes your heart catch. "I hope for laughter," they say softly, "for kindness, for the quiet strength of two people who choose each other again and again, even when the world would pull them apart." You nod, your own smile soft and a little wistful. "I hope for that too," you whisper, your breath a hush of warmth in the cooling air. Outside, the moon is slipping low in the sky, its silver light turning the marble floors to a river of soft, liquid glow. You close your eyes for a moment, just to feel the quiet around you, the hush of the hall, the gentle weight of your companion's hand in yours, the soft promise of tomorrow in the air. You know that when dawn comes, the world will return with all its noise and demands. But tonight, you let yourself believe in the simple power of a hand held in the dark. The last of the servants move through the hall, their steps soft as they set out fresh candles and sweep the hearth clean. The scent of beeswax and rosemary lingers in the air, a quiet blessing for the day to come. You watch them work, your thoughts weaving dreams of wedding feasts and soft laughter, of vows spoken in the hush of morning light. Your companion's head leans close to yours, their breath warm against your cheek. "Do you think they'll find joy?" they ask softly, their voice as gentle as the hush of the night. You turn to meet their gaze, your smile soft and certain. "I think," you say, your voice a quiet promise, "that if they're brave enough to hold each other's hearts gently, they will." And in the hush that follows, you feel it, that small, steady flicker of hope that no amount of dowries or watchful chaperones can snuff out. It's there in the warmth of your companion's hand, in the soft hush of laughter, and the quiet breath of dawn just beyond the darkened windows. The night is nearly over, but the promise of it lingers in the hush of the hall and the gentle glow of the last of the candles. You let yourself believe in it, just for tonight, that in a world of alliances and ambition, the heart can still find a way to speak in laughter and soft sighs. And as you stand in the hush of the hall, your head resting lightly against your companion's shoulder, you let the last of the night's music fade into a gentle hush, carrying with it the soft promise of tomorrow. The candles burn low, their final glow casting long shadows across the marble floors. The hall is almost silent now, the echoes of laughter and music fading into the hush of the early morning hours. You linger by the doorway, the scent of rosemary and beeswax still clinging to the air, the gentle weight of your companion's hand, a quiet anchor in the hush. In the Renaissance, these final moments before dawn held a certain magic. When the world seemed to hold its breath, the night stories still fresh in every sigh and every secret glance. You feel it now, that soft shimmer of possibility, the promise of everything that might be waiting just beyond the horizon. Historians still argue whether these final hours of a feast were meant for reflection or simply the last chance to whisper a promise before the world returned to its measured dance. But tonight, for you, they feel like a quiet space to breathe and to remember, to gather the soft threads of laughter and longing and tuck them safely into your heart. A mainstream historical fact. In many Renaissance courts, the early morning hours after a feast were considered a time of quiet prayer and contemplation. The music would fade, the candles would burn low, and those who lingered would find themselves in a world half dream, half memory. A quirky tidbit: some said that the final candle's flicker could reveal a glimpse of your true love's face, caught in the shimmer of molten wax and golden light. You watch the last candle now, the flame a soft dance of gold and shadow, and wonder what secrets it might hold. Your companion's hand is warm in yours, their fingers steady and sure. You let yourself lean into that warmth, your laughter soft and breathless as you whisper the last of the night's secrets. "I think I'll remember this," you murmur, your voice as gentle as the flicker of the final flame. They smile, their breath warm against your hair. "I will too," they say, and in that small promise, you feel the world grow quiet and gentle around you. The night beyond the windows is soft and silver, the moon slipping low as the first faint blush of dawn begins to edge the sky. You know that soon, the servants will come with fresh water and clean linens, that the halls will be swept and the traces of the night's laughter tucked away like a secret. But for now, in this small hush, you let yourself linger in the warmth of the last candle's glow. You talk of tomorrow, of the wedding that will bring the world back to life with music and laughter and the bright swirl of silk and velvet. You wonder what it will feel like to stand in that hall, the scent of rosemary and the hush of vows weaving around you like a gentle spell. Your companion leans close, their smile a soft promise. "No matter what the world asks of us," they say, "I will remember this night, the laughter, the quiet moments, the way your eyes caught the candlelight." You smile in answer, your hand tightening in theirs as you watch the final flicker of the candle's glow. You know that tomorrow the world will be a tangle of family names and alliances, of careful bargains and endless expectations. But tonight, you found something that feels like a promise whispered in the dark, something soft and sure and yours. The last of the wax pools in the dish, the flame dancing one final time before it gutters and fades. The hush of the hall deepens, the world slipping into the quiet breath between night and dawn. You close your eyes, your head resting lightly against your companion's shoulder, and you let yourself drift in that gentle hush. Outside, the first birds stir in the cool air, their song a soft echo of the night's laughter. You feel the press of time in the steady beat of your heart, but you don't let it hurry you. Tonight, you've danced and laughed and whispered secrets in the hush of moonlight. Tonight, you've dared to let your heart speak in soft sighs and quiet laughter. And as the first light of dawn slips into the hall, you take one final breath, slow and sure, and let yourself smile. Because tonight has been more than a game of glances and bargains. It's been a small, sweet rebellion, a promise that even in a world of alliances and ambition, the heart can still find a way to speak. You turn to your companion, your smile soft in the growing light. "Until next time," you whisper, your voice a gentle promise. And in their answering smile, you find the quiet echo of your own hope, a hope that lingers like the last glow of the candle, soft and sure against the coming day. The world will wake soon enough, but for now, in the hush of the final flicker, you let yourself believe that what you found tonight will stay with you, woven into your laughter, pressed close to your heart like a quiet prayer. You close your eyes, and in the darkness behind your eyelids, you see the soft glow of candlelight and the gentle curve of a smile. The music has faded, but its echo lingers in your breath, a quiet lullaby that soothes your racing heart. The world beyond these walls is waking, but here, in the hush of your dreams, the night still wraps around you like a velvet cloak. Your thoughts drift soft and slow, like the lazy spiral of smoke from a guttering candle. Each breath you take feels easier, deeper, as you let go of the night's laughter and let the hush of the dawn settle around you like a promise. The air is cool and sweet, carrying the faint scent of roses and the memory of warm hands and whispered words. You feel the weight of your eyelids grow heavier, the gentle tug of sleep wrapping around you like a warm embrace. In the quiet darkness, you remember the soft brush of fingers, the hush of laughter shared in shadowed corners, the gentle press of a gift slipped into your hand. These small moments weave together, a tapestry of warmth and wonder that hums beneath your skin. You let yourself drift, your breathing slow and sure, each inhale a soft sigh, each exhale a gentle release. The world beyond these walls fades to a quiet hush, and in the stillness, you find a calm that soothes every hurried thought. Let the night stories cradle you as you slip deeper into sleep, the last glow of candlelight, a quiet promise in the hush of your dreams. Thank you for spending this quiet moment with me. May it leave you wiser and a little more at peace.